Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to brand new podcast on the Anfield Talk. I'm your host Ben, and today I am joined by Jamie once again. How are you, mate?
I'm great. Obviously, very anxious ahead of the weekend, but at the minute, I'm okay.
Yeah, you and me both, mate, and we'll touch on that a bit later on. And I'm also joined once again by Dylan. It's been a while, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's great to be back. Great time to be a Liverpool fan. Got a very crucial week for this team. So I hope it goes well.
Absolutely, it's literally make or break season, and we're going to cover three main topics in this podcast. We're going to start off with Benfica, just touch on that, give our thoughts on how the game went, and if we are in the semi-final, which I've got an opinion on that, but I'll keep it to myself for a minute. Transfer news, obviously, we've agreed to sign a player, which is probably going to be quite a big portion of this podcast. And then we're going to do a little preview for Manchester City. So make sure you stick around, grab a tea, grab a biscuit. I don't know what your fancy is, but just
It'll be a
enjoy
good
it.
hour, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good conversation. But Jamie, coming to you first. Just checking you can hear me, okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, pal.
Great, absolutely fantastic. We did a test run and Jamie was having some problems, so Jamie, I'm gonna come to you then. What are your thoughts on Benfica? The team news, that exciting midfield that was, it's kind of like a mythical thing, wasn't it? Like Naby, Thiago, Fabinho. It's something that Liverpool fans have spoken about for so long, but we've never seen it. We actually saw it. So what did you make on that and pretty much the rest of the team?
Yeah, I was super excited, as I think everyone was, as well, especially the people on Twitter, was very excited to see the midfield. It brought a lot. It was very interesting to see what Naby and Thiago could do together in particular. They're both very exciting footballers to watch, very enjoyable to watch. It's so easy to see them play. So I was very happy with the team. It's good that we've seen it now and we've seen it how we flow. It's definitely attacking. At times it felt like it was like a 4-1-5 and it was just Fabinho sitting in there with Naby and Thiago pushing on. But it was really good to see. I think it flowed well. The first half, I said to you, Ben, I went and watched it back. I thought it was absolutely excellent. Second half entailed a bit. It was a little bit strange, a bit sloppy at times, but we got the job done. And the team, I was very happy with. I thought everyone pulled their weight, except from, not to single him out, but Salah was a little bit under par. But obviously he's had so many minutes in them legs. I expect that, to be honest. I'm sure he'll be back Sunday because it's a massive game and that he's a massive game player. But Diaz in particular, superb. Naby Keita, absolutely fantastic. The defence, apart from one mistake, was immaculate. So I was really excited to see the team, and I think he performed really well.
Absolutely. Everyone, that knows me, me well enough, Jamie, knows how much I adore Naby, and he's literally one of my favourite players. I just don't know why. There's just something about that player which I love. I think he's incredible, and I feel like people's judgment has been clouded by his injuries, which I've always said is fair enough. If you don't rate Naby Keita because he's injured a lot, that's a fair conversation to have. But when people say he's bad at football and he's not good, that's when it's like, do you watch football? But yeah, Dylan, coming to you, mate. Was you in that same boat that was excited, or because there was a lot of like, okay, this is good on paper, but is this actually going to win a football match because maybe they're too similar, or maybe there's not that balance? What was your opinion on that midfield and the rest of the side?
I don't know about you guys, but the moment that Thiago signed for the club, what I was most excited for was that Thiago and Keita link up. But the way, due to the injury crisis last year and Keita's injury going on into this season, you can see that Klopp's been using them two as like shielding each other. So Thiago would help out Keita when Thiago's injured, when Keita's injured, and then Keita will help Thiago when Thiago's injured. But that game was very reminiscent. I don't know if you guys remember when we started Ox, Keita, and Fabinho versus Genk, and our fans went crazy, and we dominated that match. That midfield was just amazing. It was so great seeing Keita, Thiago, and Fabinho in that midfield, and they showed that it's just not on paper. They are incredible when it comes to the game as well, not just offensively but defensively as well. I do think that Keita is our most underrated player when it comes to off the ball and defending. He's improved so much since that Atletico game, which he did get a lot of criticism for.
Yeah, 100%. And we were just talking before we recorded that. I think with Naby, a lot of people still say he's a liability, don't they, in the defence? And I think this season we've seen a different side of Naby that we might not have seen before. He's proven his all-round game, and he can read the game really well off the ball as well as on the ball. He showed everything, and he's been doing this for me. Not me. I'm not saying he's never had a bad game, but most games this season when he's played, I've seen it. The both sides of his game, and that's what this team needs: people that can do pretty much everything. And I always go back to this game, but the Brighton game, the 2-2, when Naby was on the pitch, we were cruising at 2-0. When Naby went off, we collapsed, both defensively and going forward. So that's the main game for me where I would highlight is how important Naby can be, especially when Fabinho's not there and maybe the midfield shifted around a bit like it was on that day. But I think, he's had so much unnecessary criticism, but maybe I'm biased because like I say, he's one of my favourite players. I don't know, but it's good to hear other people's opinions, and, that a lot of Liverpool fans are now kind of not accepting him, because I think, it's wrong to kind of just start to accept someone in like the third or fourth year. But people that were slandering him before, all of a sudden now giving him praise, which is good to see. But then on the other hand, it's like, why did it take you this long? I don't get it. But it is what it is. We're here now, so it's fine. But yeah, for me, the changing point in that game, like, we were so comfortable, and it, he's 22, so I'm not gonna criticize him too much. But the Konate mistake, the two goals before that, which in fact we'll just briefly talk about those. So the first goal, which one was it again? It was was it Mane? First goal.
Konate was the first one.
Konate, that was it. Yeah, the corner. Not really much to say about that one. Was there's just a great corner, bullet header. Not so much a good knee slide from Fabinho, was it, Jamie?
No, it wasn't. It was definitely one to forget for him. But I actually really liked to see Konate score, because I think for such a big presence, that's what we should be seeing it from him in the attacking area. Sometimes we know it can be frustrating because our corners struggle beating the first man. But if you look at the stats, we're again this season up there with the top scorers from set pieces, which is still incredible. So if you think Van Dijk scored a few this season, I want to see Konate get up there and do some more of that. So it was good to see. It was a great delivery. It was right on 50 pence. And a good finish, but the knee side, we move on. We don't talk about it.
Yeah, Dylan, how important do you think it is for a player like getting their first goal for the club? Because I went crazy when he scored, I'm not gonna lie. And I just think now he's got that goal, like Jamie says, maybe we're gonna see some more Konate headers from corners.
I think he's quickly becoming one of my favorite Liverpool players this season. He's been bar that mistake, he was faultless. And I was so happy for him, to be honest. It's always nice seeing a Liverpool player score their first goal, and this was a huge goal as well from in a Champions League semi-final. You can say you're like the first goal scorer in it for Liverpool. Amazing.
Yeah, it was quarter-final. I think you said, did you say semi?
Did I say semi? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals then. Hopefully
No,
in the
all
semi
good.
too. Okay, Konate.
Yeah. No, you're already thinking a step ahead. I like it. The second goal for me was my favourite. And I went on the football terrace after the game, and I made a big statement which was actually clipped and put onto their Twitter. And basically, what I said was, Trent Alexander-Arnold is like, the right back debate is finished. He's completed it. Like, don't want to hear anything about that anymore. There's no Reece James. There's no anyone else. No Cancelos.
It's disrespectful thinking about it, man.
It is
honestly.
just insane, right? And I said, we have to now put Trent just up there with any football player as one of the best players in the world. The right back conversation is done. I don't want to hear that conversation again. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like you said, it's embarrassing. It's disrespectful. But for that goal, the ball he played to Luis Diaz, which Jamie said when we spoke about this the other day, I think it was you, Jamie, wasn't even his best in the game. Or was that
no.
you?
Yeah,
Jamie?
that was
me.
me.
It was you. But that ball to Diaz, the intelligence from Diaz to knock it down, and then Mane to stay on side and put it in the back of the net. Jamie, like, how impressed was you with that?
Yeah, massively impressed. And like I said, he's definitely up there because there's a lazy stereotype that people get looked down because of their positions. For example, Alisson in 2022 also for me has to be up there with one of the best players because of how good he's been. Trent is the exact same. Just because he plays right back doesn't mean he's not one of the best, because he massively is. He's completely revolutionized his position. Everyone seems to go as the modern day fullback as a Trent Alexander-Arnold now. So that's credits to Klopp, but obviously bigger credits to the player who does it. But again, for Tuesday, he was just absolutely phenomenal. And just coming back from, well, a fake injury, but a pretend injury, well, whatever we call that injury.
We can give him more credit now. We can say it was a proper injury.
Yeah.
Like, this is Trent after an injury.
But he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole goal was beautiful. But then, Dylan, I was just alluding to this before we start talking about the goals. The Konate mistake kind of changed the game, right? And like I said, he's 22. He's a new signing. He's still learning his way. Like, still nowhere near his peak years. And, you know, he's not going to be for another 3-4 seasons, which is crazy. But these mistakes happen for young players and young centre-backs. And I'm sure he'll learn from it. And ultimately, we won anyway 3-1 on the night. But after that goal went in, Darwin Núñez, it was, like, was you ever worried that the game's kind of slipping away? Because the crowd were up for it again. I think the most important thing we did that night was silencing the crowd, because they made that so hostile. And once we scored 2, they were silent. Then as soon as they scored, they were right back in it. And then you saw the players kind of lift up a bit. So was you ever at any point in that game nervous that the game was slipping away, or did you still have full confidence that we were going to come out and win the game?
Do you want my nice answer or my honest answer?
Both.
Nice answer. Yeah. I was quite nervous, to be honest. You know, like Núñez, he almost like went past Van Dijk. My honest answer is like I wasn't really nervous, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I just if this was played at the start of the season, 2021, like where we were like really not holding on to our leads a lot. We had Brighton, Man City twice, Brentford's, and we were like really bottling our leads. So if that was like say in September, October, when the defense was very shaky and Alisson was quite shaky as well, then I'd say yeah, I would be quite nervous. But there's just been something about our defense in 2022, especially with Alisson, Van Dijk, and Trent, that trio there. They've just stepped up their game completely. And then I can add Matip and Konate and Robertson even to that. Just they've all been faultless. So I just get that sense of at the start of 2018. I don't know if you guys remember when like we just did not concede at all with Van Dijk, Gomez, and Alisson at the back. I get that same sense now. I don't really feel that nervous.
No, I'm with you. It's just kind of thinking like whenever we concede, we'll score again, and it did seem like that we would score again. And just touching on the final goal, the ball from Naby, he won the ball back, went on a run, played the ball into Diaz, who ran to the keeper, and I think that summed up what was a perfect performance from Luis Diaz: a goal, an assist, just being so creative. Like, the way he settled into this team is just incredible. And you know, he looks like he's been here for years, which is crazy, seeing as he's only been here for what, 4 months, not even that, 3 months maximum. So for me, he's just blown me away of how good he was. I expected him to be good, but I didn't expect him to almost be like at the level where you're thinking he's actually almost undroppable now in terms
No,
of
I say he's
three.
crucial for that Etihad
Yeah,
side, to be honest.
right, exactly.
Yeah, I think he saved our season as well, to be honest. I wouldn't say like quality wise, he's got so much quality, but in the sense that now Klopp has options with the front three. Whereas if you compare it to this time last season, we were basically forced to play an out of form Mane and Firmino just because Jota was injured. Whereas now we've got 5 like on the basis world class attackers who Klopp has access to and like can change into different combinations, like try and find the best one. I think at the moment our best is Diaz, Mane, and Salah. But yeah, Diaz has, in my opinion, changed our season, and our success that comes at the end of it. Diaz would deserve a lot of flowers.
100% agree. And just to finish on Benfica, then we will touch more on this in detail towards the end. But do you think that we can read anything into Mane and Salah only playing 60 and Diaz playing the full 90? Like, do you think that means Mane's gonna? Because you said, and I agree, that Diaz has to play against City, or do you think it's going to be Mane and Diaz, or what? Because I can't help but think those subs, Mane and Salah both coming off on 60, were planned beforehand because none of them looked upset, none of them looked angry to be coming off at that time. They both just jogged off the pitch and were done with it. So, Dylan, do you think they're thinking about City, or do you think, I don't know, is Mane not going to play even though he only had 60? What do you think?
To be honest, I always thought going into that Benfica game that they had one eye on Manchester City on Sunday and then one eye on the match. Uh, Mane and Salah, I feel like they've got to start, and Diaz as well on the left wing. Mane has been really good in that false nine role. So I think he'll be great on Sunday. I think starting, I wouldn't be too unhappy if it was Mane over Firmino or Jota. And with Diaz as well, I would love him. I'd love him to start on Sunday. It all depends on Klopp really. No matter what happens with the front three, I always trust what Klopp has done.
100%. I agree with you. We're just gonna quickly move on. To some other brilliant news that came out yesterday. So I can't even remember what I was doing. In fact, I do remember what I was doing. I was getting my ticket for Wembley. I was waiting with my laptop in the queues, being very anxious about it. And then the news just broke. Fabio Carvalho to Liverpool from the man himself, Fabrizio Romano. I'll just read out what he said. Fabio Carvalho to Liverpool, done deal, and here we go. Medical already completed with Fulham's permission. £5 million plus 2.7 million add-ons, sell-on clauses included, and contracted until 2027. And if you think, okay, Fabrizio Romano, not sure what I think of his reliability. Well, the main man, Paul Joyce, has also written an article for the Times saying that Liverpool will formally sign Fulham youngster Fabio Carvalho next month after agreeing a deal worth 7.7 million. So, Jamie, I'm going to come to you first on this one because we do a lot of spaces, or we did do a lot of spaces, and deadline day, it looked like we were getting Diaz and it looked like we were getting Fabio Carvalho at one point, and we both shared the disappointment. The next day, you came on my channel, and we were talking about how okay, we haven't got Fabio Carvalho now, but we are still very confident that he's going to be a Liverpool player next season. So I just want to get your overall feelings on this transfer, and are you excited about this? Do you think this is good business from Liverpool? Tell me where you're at regarding this, what looks to be a really good youth player coming in.
Oh, I'm very excited about this one. Obviously, he's young, he's exciting. Played Premier League football for a bit before Fulham went down at such a young age. Was he 17 when he made his debut in the
Yeah.
Premier League? That shows something. But what excites me the most about this transfer is Liverpool's interest. We must have desperately wanted this kid for the negotiation to fall through, and then we go and wrap him up even before the summer's done. I'm telling you, we must have been desperate to sign him. It's a great spot. It's another great spot. I think people could look back at this and years to come and think, 5.7 million or something for his tribunal will be a great signing. It's like $1 million a season for his contract that we've paid for him. So it's superb business. He looks very exciting. I can't say I've watched every Fulham game at all, but I've followed him a lot closer than I did before January because I thought he was coming. He just seems like such a Coutinho type player in the way he plays. He's very low sense of gravity, small, tricky player. Got a good eye for goal from midfield. Can play false nine, can play calm. Sometimes he's played on the wing. So he's got a very exciting future in it. I think it could unfold at Liverpool in many different ways. It would be very interesting how he settles in next season with, how many minutes is he going to get? Is he just going to be cup? Are we going to, get him in the first team? Probably not, but we'll see. But I'm super excited. I always am with the Liverpool transfer. If you look at our track record, it in my opinion, it's the best in Europe for our signings. The business that we've done is unbelievable. So I think any Liverpool signing is an exciting one. And I think someone that's aged 18 and 19 is even more exciting.
Absolutely. And, we were told that when the talks broke down in January that, Liverpool are going to come back in for him. And I remember saying on that stream that history has shown us when Klopp wants a player, if it doesn't work out the first time, usually they get him. And the two examples I used were Naby. Obviously, we had to wait a year. We had to send him back to Leipzig, but Klopp was okay with that because he wanted the player. And then Virgil van Dijk, obviously, we got in a bit of bother for talking to Virgil when we probably shouldn't have spoken to Virgil, which meant we had to wait until January. But Klopp was like, you know what? I want this guy. I'm going to wait. I'm going to sign him. And now we've done it again. Okay, Fabio Carvalho, we couldn't get him when we wanted him, but we're going to wait and we're going to go back in for him. And now it looks like we have secured him for next season. Dylan, your thoughts, mate? Have you seen much of Carvalho? Are you excited for this one? Like, is this shrewd business from the club once again?
If Klopp, as you just said, when Klopp wants to play, he'll eventually get him. And the fact that he pursued getting Carvalho, not even before the summer window started, makes me even more excited about him joining the club. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of Carvalho's. I don't really watch Fulham, but my friend who was
Can't blame you, mate.
I know, yeah. My friend who is a diehard Fulham fan, I was asking him his opinion on Carvalho, and he said he's got great movements, good link up, plays, he's a really good ball carrier, and has got a good burst of pace. So, in my opinion, just by reading that, he reminds me a lot of Coutinho in his first 2 seasons for the club. I don't know if you guys would agree with me. I think Jamie touched on it as well.
Yeah, no. From what I've seen, again, I haven't watched much Fulham games, and like I said, you can't blame anyone for that. But
No, exactly.
I have seen videos and clips. I even made a compilation myself. So I literally went back, found every game that he scored in or assisted in this season. I watched the highlights for those games to get the clips, and in those clips, you do see more than the goals and the assists. You see the chances he creates that don't end up in a goal or an assist. You see the shots he has, which are just narrowly wide and etc. So again, compilations are great. You can see players, goals and assists, but there's more to it. And from what I've seen of him, he does look very good, and you can definitely see why we are looking to get him in to join the young players that we've also signed. The Harvey Elliott's, the Clyde Gordons, the Scottish lad, is it Ben Doak? I don't know how to pronounce his name. But yeah, just the way we're going about business recently with in terms of young players, it seems like we are trying to build something as a club. And Chelsea have done this so many times. Gone around the clubs, signed the best youth players, and then either made them into superstars or sold them on for decent money. I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, by the way, but it's just nice to be in that conversation, because I remember when we signed Harvey Elliott, I think Man United wanted him, Barcelona wanted him. So many top clubs in Europe wanted Harvey Elliott, which I think people forget, but we got him. Obviously because he's a Liverpool fan, that helps, but also Klopp, the whole factor of coming into this team, I think is huge. And one of the other big decisive factors that I've often touched on is the new training ground. And I think it's absolutely massive, and the board will get so much criticism from fans for a lot of different reasons. But I don't know the ins and outs in terms of the finance and how this was built. Like, some people have different theories. I don't really care, but building that new training ground for me is one of the best things that's happened in a long, long time, because now we have the facilities to compete with Man Cities and other teams that have these crazy training grounds. Melwood was amazing. Don't get me wrong; it's historic. Like, when we grow up, we'll tell kids and our grandkids about Melwood. Like, that's where everything happened. The legends that the club has had in our lifetime, they all played there. But we had to move, and we have moved. And I think now that's only going to be a good thing. Signing these youth players coming in, and they're now training at the same place as the first team. Before they weren't; they were training somewhere else, whilst the first team were at Melwood. Jamie, how impressed are you by the way Liverpool have gone about signing these young talents? And hopefully there's going to be more to come, right?
Yeah, definitely. Melwood's an exciting place to be, but I think not only incomings but player retention as well. If you get a bonus in your working environment, that the employee is going to be happy. It's the exact same with footballers. If you get a new stadium, look at Tottenham, that can attract players. That you've seen in the All or Nothing Tottenham documentary about how excited they were to come and play in the Spurs stadium. I think Bergwijn said that when he signed. It's a massive attraction to players. That's where they train. That's where they play 5 times a week. So it's massive to improve it. So I think that it is, and I'm not. Look, people will have very different opinions on FSG, but I think from recent, they're not doing too bad for what everyone's saying, because Melwood's clearly a great attraction. Their business, in January and now with Carvalho is looking very good. The summer will give us a bit more information on where people stand as well. Maybe some people will come off the fence on in. Some people probably can't change on out. We'll see. But what they've done with Melwood's fantastic. What they're doing with signings is fantastic. You look at Chelsea, look at United. They've got so many, City as well. They've got so many good youngsters coming through. I don't think we've got enough. You look at Chelsea, you've got countless that have come from the Chelsea Academy that are smashing it in the Prem. Conor Gallagher, Guehi, Hudson-Odoi's come up, Reece James came through it. So many names that I can't even mention. United have got Alanga, he's just come up. He's starting games for them over Rashford at the minute, so that says something. City with Foden. Academies are massive in football. They're the free footballers that can become superstars. So it's huge, and Carvalho is just another great addition to what we're building in the youth. It's all about future.
100% agree. It's crucial that we get these players in, and we start developing players. And I know we're buying them for fees, so it's not the same as bringing them in from Liverpool, but it's still you've got to scout these players, you've got to get them in at the right prices. So I'm very impressed. Just finishing on Fabio Carvalho then, because I do want to move to City. Dylan, there's been a lot of talk on this about Curtis Jones and other players, and as far as I'm concerned, right, I don't understand how Curtis Jones has come into the picture. Maybe I'm missing something, but Curtis Jones, for me, and pretty much for Klopp as well, is a centre mid, and he occasionally plays on the wing, like ever so often. But I think people saying that this is the end of Curtis Jones, this is the end of this player, that player. Do you think this signals the end of a player or two players, or in fact, not all, but if that is the case, where do you see Carvalho playing for us next season, and do you think he's going to get that many minutes for us?
I'm actually going to say that Carvalho actually plays in Jones's position, so I wouldn't say that Jones is our threat here. It's just that his threat in that first position, that left centre mid position that he was playing in quite a lot, is that threat right now with Carvalho. And in the past, we've seen that can be a good thing. If you look at Tsimikas and Robertson, when Tsimikas had a good run in the team, Robertson came straight back in, and since then, I think this has been since December, he's been absolutely faultless. So I don't think it's the end for Jones. I just think there's just now competition, so he actually has to fight for his starting position in the team. And on top of that, I do think that Jones has many things to improve on. His main weakness is consistency. He'll either be one of the best players on the pitch, Porto, I can remember, or he'll be very inconsistent and be one of the worst players on the pitch, as of recently, I can remember as well. So I'm looking forward to that next season. And yeah, just I'm excited for Carvalho and Jones next season as well. He'll step up his game as well. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, maybe I've not looked into his positional play as much then in detail, because I thought he was more of a 10/forward. I didn't actually know he played centre mid, so maybe I need to look into it more. But yeah, Jamie, any last thoughts on Fabio Carvalho? Do you see him coming in, playing games, maybe in cups and that, or do you think he's just gonna maybe stick around and he develops off the pitch, or what? Do you see him playing?
Yeah, the future of Fabio Carvalho, I don't know, because that's up to Klopp. Whatever Klopp does, we know we're in good hands. We know we can trust him with 100%. What I don't understand is, like you said, why is Curtis Jones being thrown into the mix just because we got another youngster come in? People have been crying out for the squad depth of City and Chelsea. People have been literally crying out for squad depth. This is what we're bringing in now. Because we're bringing one player in, it doesn't mean three players have to go. It really doesn't. I think the one who leaves in the summer is definitely Chamberlain. Because of his age, things aren't working out at the minute. With someone who's got the prospect of Curtis Jones that still has so much potential, you can't sell. You sell the ones that aren't working out, which for me is Ox. Ox can go for Fabio Carvalho to come in. that's absolutely fine. But you don't always need a direct replacement for someone to go out for someone to go in. In terms of squad numbers, maybe FSG do financially.
You don't have to register Carvalho either because he's 19, right? So that's not a number in
Yeah.
the registration. So I don't get it.
Yeah, under 20. He was homegrown, but I think he's chose Portugal now, hasn't
Portugal,
he?
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think they're trying to get him back in the under 21s.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I just don't get why Curtis or Elliot I've seen on Twitter has been thrown into the mix. It's got nothing to do
It's
with them.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But yes, it's an extra player for a great squad and a very exciting player as well. So I think it's a great signing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited by it, to be fair. Just seeing these like creative players, I'm not a GA merchant. That's what I get called on Football Wars when I stick up for Mo Salah and Jota and that. I like them both, and I think obviously a successful team does need both. And if Klopp can take Fabio Carvalho, at the start, probably giving games in the cups. I mean, pre-season, to be fair, is going to be very exciting to see how he gets on in the club because I love preseason, like especially when we sign new players. I get my membership from the LFC Go, and then I sit down in the sun and watch the games, and it's given me another reason to keep a close eye on them, especially that Bangkok Manchester United game. I mean, I don't know what time that's going to be for us, but there we go. We'll see what happens. But just finishing off then on the podcast today, obviously the elephant in the room, which is just 2 days away now. Crazy. If you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock, Liverpool play Manchester City this coming Sunday at 4 p.m. I believe. It could be. I don't know. I haven't looked at the kickoff time.
It's 4:30.
4:30. That's it. And it's been labelled as the title decider. And Dylan, I want to get your thoughts on that. Is it as simple as that? The winner of this game goes on to win the league, or do you think that there's going to be some twists and turns along the way?
If it was any other Premier League team in history, I'd say this isn't a title decider. If they were in the title race, because old Premier League era, they'd drop silly points and finish on 80 points overall and get so much praise. With these two, I'd say this is the title decider because if City win, I don't see them dropping points. If we draw, I don't see neither team dropping points. They'll win every single game to the end of the season. And if Liverpool win, I don't think just either way, this decides the title. It's in our hands right now. But if we draw or lose it, then it's out of our hands. We have to rely on the likes of who was City playing afterwards? Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I'm not
They're
sure who, but what I do know is we've got a harder running, haven't
we've
we?
got a harder run in. But like I do not want to go through what we all did in 2018-19 again, where we had to like sit and watch 90 minutes of City just dominating and like, are they going to score? Are they going to score? Oh, they
And
scored.
Company
Okay.
just scores a screamer at the end.
Oh, that was see, like, that's like the biggest heartbreak. I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch 180 minutes of football a week knowing that the title could end or be won here. It's in our hands. We have to win this weekend. And in my opinion, I think this season is a complete reversal to the last time we won a title race. It's us that's second and challenging, and it's them that are in first and have quote unquote bottled the lead. So let's see how it goes. I'm so up for it. Honestly, I can't wait.
I am so nervous. Like you can't even explain how important this is. And I agree with you. I do think it is that important. And some people are saying maybe we can't afford to draw, and some people are saying, would you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I want nothing but a win on Sunday. And people will be like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. We ain't got a good record at the Etihad. I don't care. If this team wants to win the league, this is a game that they have to go out there and win.
We'll have to win it.
Yeah. You can't win the league by losing or dropping points to Man City these days. You can't. I know we drew the first game, but I genuinely think now we're in a situation, and this is credit to Klopp and Pep, where these two games in the football calendar are crucial. Like the other seasons gone by, the ones we grew up watching with like Arsenal and City and not City, Arsenal and Chelsea and United going for titles. Okay, maybe United could afford to drop points against Chelsea, but they'd win the other game, so it wouldn't matter. But now the gap is so small between the two clubs. You
These
literally
two have
have
like
to beat the
raised the bar
opposition.
completely. Like,
Exactly.
have you ever thought about two teams that will get 90 points at the end of the season? When like before in the Sir Alex Ferguson, Wenger, Jose Mourinho era, you can get teams that will get up to 90. One team that will get to 90.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And Jamie, just coming to you, mate. I want to hear your thoughts. We were at the home game, which was, I would say, a great game, but unfortunately, we did drop 2 points in the last 10 minutes, where certain midfielders weren't chasing their men, etc. But thoughts, mate? Is this the biggest, like not biggest, but is this one of Liverpool's most important Premier League fixtures of all time, in your opinion?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's one of the biggest ever Premier League games. To be honest with you, it's two teams at the peak of their powers, possibly the best teams we've ever seen in the Premier League. They've got to be up there. The fixtures that we're piling on. City are going for the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Prem. We're going for all three remaining with already the Carabao Cup in our basket. It's just phenomenal. To be honest, it'd be great to be a neutral and just watch it, but fortunately, we're actually in the position where we can support one of the teams. I think I've got 2 more days of a good resting heart rate, and then my heart's going places.
You've not got two, mate. You've got one and a bit.
Yeah, well, up until Sunday, until I wake up, it'll be okay, and then when I wake up, I think I'll have to go back to bed. But yeah, it honestly, everything is on it. For me, the team that wins this game is the champions, because you just can't afford to go and beat your title rivals who you've been so close with all season and then slip up to someone else. I think that is all the confidence you need. It's all the momentum you need is to win this game. I wouldn't be too angry with a draw, although I wouldn't take it if you offered it me now. If we draw and we lose the league by a point, it's not the Etihad game that we look back on. It's the Brentfords, it's the Brighton, it's the City at home, to be honest
Chelsea
with
2-0 as well.
you. Yeah. So, look, it's very nerve-wracking. I don't even know what to say. I've not even been thinking about it all week, to be honest. It'll come into my head, and that I'll just try and hammer it to the back.
Yeah,
So,
this is the thing. Like before now, we've had like 2 games between where you're just thinking like, okay, I'm not thinking about City, I'm thinking about Benfica, or I'm thinking about Watford or whatever. But now this game is here. We've got no other game to put our focus into. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' predicted lineups. And Dylan, we're going to start with you.
Okay, right. Goalkeeper is quite obvious. Alisson. Back 4, we'll go with the usual Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, and Trent. Midfield, although I want it, it'll be the NFT midfield that we had on Tuesday. I don't think we'll get it. It'll be Thiago, Fabinho, and Henderson. Then on the right, Salah. Hope he picks up his form finally and gets a goal here, because he really needs it, in my opinion. Centre forward, false nine, Sadio Mane. I think he's been doing really well there. Although Firmino, I wouldn't mind starting there either. Left wing, he's crucial for this game, Luis Diaz.
Yeah, 100%. We did just say this as well, that when we're speaking, I'm in the same mind as you, but I'm not sure what's going to happen, because I think we can probably read into those subs a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I just feel like that was made for a reason. Salah and Mane coming off at exactly the same time. That tells me that it's going to be Mane and Salah, and then it depends who's going to be up front. Who did you say? Did you say Firmino? Yeah.
I said Mane up front, Luis Diaz on the
Okay,
left.
so you said
And
both of them. Okay.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against that, to be fair. I'll do mine. I'm in the camp where, in fact, I'll start from the goalkeeper. So I'll go Ali, go left to right. Robbo, Verge, Matip, Trent. I think that speaks for itself. I don't think there's too much debate in there.
yeah, no debate.
Fabinho, Thiago, Hendo. I mean, if it was anyone else, I would say after that Naby performance in the week, he should go again. But like I said before, he played 90 minutes. It's City away. I think it's a game where you need your captain. It's a game for Jordan Henderson to come in and take it by the scruff of its neck. So I definitely think that's going to be the midfield. And then my front three is Mine would be Diaz, Firmino, Salah, but I think it's going to be Mane, Firmino, Salah. I think he's going to go with the
He's gonna run
OGs.
it back.
Yeah, I think we're running
He's
it
gonna
back.
run it back.
But then again, if we're running it back, we need Oxlade-Chamberlain in, don't we? So I don't know. But I think he's going to go tried and trusted, and then I wouldn't say tried and trusted to be fair, because he can. I know he can trust Diaz already. He's that good. But I just think as well, like if it's not going our way, God forbid, uh, who better to bring on than Luis Diaz in the last 25 minutes? So, yeah, I think that will be the front three: Mane, Firmino, Salah. Jamie, what is yours, my friend?
Yeah, back five speaks for itself. Alisson, Robertson, Matip, Van Dijk, Trent, Fabinho, Thiago, definitely. I'm gonna go Henderson. I think Klopp will go Henderson. I think that eight is, I'd say, like 95% sure.
Yeah.
The front three is about 5% sure because it could be anyone. What I
Mm.
think he'll do, I've been telling myself all week that I think he's going to go Mane, Salah, Firmino. I'd love to see Diaz start, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think what he can bring to the team, City aren't great with dealing with the counter-attack. His pace could result hugely on the counter-attack. I think he's exactly what we need. But the arguments there for Bobby, he's exactly what we need as well with the possession that City have on the ball, and his presses per 90 is huge. I'd like to see, if it was my team right now, I think I would go Mane, Salah, Diaz, but I have a strong feeling Klopp will go Firmino, Salah, Mane.
If Diaz was playing, he'd be up against Kyle Walker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That to
I'd
me
love that.
that sounds good in my head. Obviously, Walker's got the
Does
pace,
he?
but yeah, no, all Walker's got is pace. I don't necessarily think he's a great defender. I think Diaz could have him on toast, to be fair, with his, his ability on the ball and all of that. But I agree. I think he's going to go Mane, Firmino, Salah. It's good to have different opinions, and obviously, like you said, Jamie, this is the beauty of squad depth. Like
Yeah,
nobody
it's a
has a
good debate
clue.
to have.
Exactly, Dylan. And you no complaints from me. Like I saw people say, if it's not this, then I'm gonna have a Klopp agenda. Like
What?
just trust whatever team Klopp puts
As I
out.
said,
What?
I should
Go on.
trust it.
It can't be a bad team with the options we've got now. Whatever team he puts out is going to be a good team and good enough to go there and win.
Exactly. And if it doesn't work out, we can just sub in whoever
Exactly.
we need on. Like none of us mentioned Jota in our front three, and he's our
That's
best goal scorer
crazy.
right now.
Yeah.
Like that's absolutely crazy that we're all saying that. So yeah, we go on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. And just any final thoughts, really. I mean, I'll start by saying, whatever does happen on Sunday, right? If worst case scenario we lose, it's not the end. Like, of course, the title's significantly harder to win. I get that. I've said, Dylan said, and Jamie said that this is the title decider. But what happened when Leicester scored that goal? When Company scored that goal against Leicester, everyone melted down. The week after, we went to Barcelona and beat them 4-0, or they came to
The day
and we
after.
beat them 4-0. The day after, was it the
Yeah,
very next day?
yeah, less than 24 hours, right?
There we go then. In my head, it was a few days. I don't know why I thought that, but the very
No.
next day, we beat Barca 4-0. So I think that's a valuable lesson. Whereas, if it does not go our way on Sunday, let's not melt down. There's still a Champions League, which I'm knocking on wood. I'm 100% certain we are in the semi-final. I can, put all my money on it that we are there. So that could be not on a plate, but we've got a very good chance now, especially if Villarreal beat Bayern Munich. What a result that would be for us. So what I'm trying to say is, if it doesn't go our way, which let's hope it does, I don't want to see meltdowns. I don't want to see people crying about it. It is what it is. There's other things that we're going for. And Virgil actually said, it was in his press conference to Benfica. He said, "Oh well, if it doesn't go our way this season, we just go again next season." And I know that's such an easy thing to say, but it is so true. Like we've learned under Klopp that when this team doesn't get it the first time, they come back and they get it the second time. Every time it's happened, the league, we didn't do it in 18-19, 19-20, we did it. Champions League, we didn't do it in 17-18. In 18-19, we did it. Both times it's happened. So, boys, any final thoughts? Jamie, coming to you first, mate. Yeah, just finish us off, bro. Tell us how you're feeling.
It's tough feelings right now, but these are the feelings that you have to cherish as well. Although they're awful in the moment, you look back, and if it goes right, it's magical. It's the best feeling in the world. So, and that's what we're here for. That's what Klopp is here for. Doubters into believers, and we have to believe we can go there and get 3 points on Sunday, which we definitely can. But like you said, if we don't, and we give it our all, which I'm sure these boys will do. Maybe you just got to put your hands up and say we were beaten by the better team. And if they go to win the league, fair play. They've splashed so much cash on it. They probably should do it with the money. But look, this is what we're here to do. We've done it so many times, and we've done it the hard way. And there's no harder way at the minute than going to the Etihad and getting 3 points. So let's take it in our stride. I think you've got to use up a lot of nervous energy, because you do have to kind of look forward to Sunday. We're in possibly a Premier League final, if you say it like that. It really is. For me, I think whoever wins it goes on to win the league. So let's just cherish it and hope we win. Be grateful we're in the moment as well. If it doesn't go our way, we've still got 2 more to go.
Yeah, Dylan, any final thoughts, mate, from you?
This game is, I'd say, the third most important of the Klopp era. The first was Spurs in the Champions League final, which we won, and the second one was Middlesbrough in 2017 when we had to win to get to the Champions League. I'd say this is third, and both times, first and second, we both won them. So this team delivers when we do need them most, and in big games. So I think something special is going to happen on Sunday. I just have this feeling. Some things are just written in the stars. This just feels like a complete reverse of the last time we were in the title fight with Manchester City. So I believe we're going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we're all, I wouldn't say confident, I don't think that's the right word, but we're all pretty sure our team's going to give it a go. And
regardless, it's going to be a classic. Like,
exactly,
we can guarantee that it's going to be a classic Premier League game that's going to be looked upon like for the next 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm. And we all know how good our team is. We know that we can trust them in these big games. So let's just get behind them, support them. If you're watching at home, if you're going to the game, however you're doing it, they need our support now more than ever. And guys, it's been an absolute pleasure being on with you. Hopefully next time we're on, we're going to be talking about how Liverpool are top of the league with 7 games to go.
Hopefully, man. And we'll be talking about Man City again for the FA
yeah,
Cup.
or we could be talking about the opposite. But let's not try and be negative. Let's get behind the boys. Hope that we get the job done at the Etihad on Sunday. And yeah, guys, thank you for listening. If you haven't already, please make sure you're following us on Spotify and share this with your mates. Share it around if you think somebody would enjoy it. And yeah, we'll catch you next time on the podcast. Take care.